I'm gonna hit got it.
Hi everyone, welcome to the another episode of Reclaiming Happiness with me, Sandeep Neutron. We have a special guest here joining in. I'll leave a little bio about our guest in the in the link below or somewhere around where we put our notes and everything. And without any delay, I want to jump in right away and get into the conversation mode. I'm so excited. We've been planning this for some time now. We have Rahul Mukerji and Krupa Vyas. Am I pronouncing it right, Krupa?
Yes, Krupa.
Yeah. Joining in from New York City. Uh, Guys, welcome to the podcast. What
Thank
an
you for having us.
honor. Thank you so much for accepting this invitation and warm greetings from Nepal.
Pleasure meeting you.
Thank you.
Absolute pleasure to see you, Sandeep.
Absolutely. And let me start. I really want to know first, like, how did you guys meet?
Instagram.
Ladies first. Go ahead.
We have to give a big thank you to social media, Instagram, and that's where I stumbled on his profile. I still give a flag to him, but to this day, saying that it took him 30 years to find me, even though we live in the same country, literally next door, next city. I'm literally New York, New Jersey. Come on, and it still took him 38 years. He's been on the world, Thailand, Bali, but he couldn't come across the state to
You're
come see
right.
me.
Yeah. They say marriages are made in heaven. Almost,
Yes,
you know,
indeed.
we are. I believe that we are destined to meet each other. You know, um, I shared a similar story with my wife, which we could talk about it. You know, a little later or maybe another time. But
Sure,
Anytime
we'd
you
love
want.
to. We would
Anytime
love
you
I'm
to
want.
I'm
know.
I'm so happy. You know, you guys met each other, and you guys look amazing together. This is
Thank you.
Thank
I'm,
you.
I'm,
As she said,
I'm-
it started on Instagram, then it went to Facebook, where the conversations got more deeper. And on Facebook, we decided to just meet. After we
Well,
talked for
first we talked for 1 month,
we talked for about a month,
and
and
we touched every topic, which normally people won't touch, even after marriages. We covered cheating, we covered reading, we covered drinking, we covered crying, we covered worst moments, we covered failures, we covered what else we covered?
basically we talked about things which would, I would say, intrigue, stimulate the mind.
Mhm.
Not typical family stuff. Hey, I'm getting to know you, tell me about your family. Or hey, what do you do? What are your likes, dislikes? That was all after.
Yeah.
I'm like, and plus, I'm like, no one ever thought, because this is a guy, of course, who has traveled the world. He was a
Yeah.
former Navy, former Coast Guard.
Yeah.
He has been around teaching the world,
Yeah.
and there was this girl in New Jersey who was never been out of New Jersey for most of her life.
Yeah.
So this is like, no one thought that this could happen, but
Yeah.
it did.
Yeah.
Even I to this day, I pinch myself saying that, is this real?
Well, I consider myself the lucky one. All that
Yeah.
she said is just there. Anybody can do it. All they need to do is book a plane ticket and go somewhere. But yeah, I consider myself
But
the lucky one to have stumbled on someone who I can talk to, who I can share happiness with, who I can who I can remind myself every day that yes, I have found someone who resembles happiness.
This is
exactly, and it's a perfect relationship, a perfect marriage does not mean that you look very happy, you look very impressive all the times. He has seen me at ugliest moments. I have seen him in the ugliest moments, and I still love him for it, not
Yeah.
despite it, for it,
Sure.
because it just shows me that he is human. It
Mhm.
just shows me that he is capable of being weak, which
Yeah.
to me is beautiful.
Yeah.
Because a man
Yeah.
who cannot be weak, a man who cannot cry,
Yeah.
to me that's a statue. It's not a man, it's a statue. It's
Sure.
a stone.
You're
I
right.
mean, what
Yeah.
makes you human? If you
Yeah.
can't show deepest emotions,
Mm-hmm.
what good are you as a human?
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I've seen him cry because he sees YouTube videos about dogs, which to
Yeah.
me is very beautiful.
That's
And I cry with him too.
mm-hmm. This
Like, there was this beautiful smile on his face when he sees a pit bull or any dog. Any dog. Like, I've
both of
never seen
you are
a pet.
dog lovers. Both of you are
Yes,
dog lovers. Yeah.
Well,
Alan.
I like to brag on this topic because I like to call myself the most avid, angelic dog lover in the world.
It's
Yeah.
not a
I'm
dog lover, it's animal lover.
animal
Animal
lover.
lovers.
Me
Yeah.
being me, it's just been in me since I was born.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I guess I'll tell you a compelling story as to like where my psyche or my aura tends to come from. When I was little, the first thing my parents did is they took me to India. As per Indian custom, when the new child is born, they want to show the whole child to the family. So we went to India quite a bit, more times than I can count.
Yeah.
When I got a little older, I
Mm.
got my first glimpse at extreme poverty because I saw people begging on the streets in India. I saw stray dogs, and I had never seen this before in my life because there I am growing up in New York, but once every year my mom and dad are taking us to India. So then it really hit a chord in me like how can the world be like this? Why is it that there is this suffering, this sadness, and something as innocent as a dog who would never do harm to anyone? Why are dogs or animals suffering? Why are people suffering?
Abused.
I thought we're supposed to be a world of equality. But that's when I got my glimpse as to reality. So I guess that shaped who I am to this day in terms of my nature, my attitude, persona, aura, whatever you want to call it.
How old were you, Rahul, when you had that realization, if I would say, or
You
that
know,
encounter when you yes.
it had to be when I was probably between 6 and 8 years old.
Mm-hmm.
And I recall it like yesterday. I was in a car. We were on the way home from probably the bazaar or the market. And a lady was knocking on our door with a child in her hand asking for money. So I was like, wait. I never saw any of this in America. And, I'm young. My mind is a sponge. And I'm like, how can this be though? I had right there my Gautam Buddha moment, Gautam Siddharth moment. I was like, so there is this thing called suffering, poverty,
Pain.
disease, pain. And it resonated with me to the point where to this day, I cannot comprehend why the world is the way it is. I may have various answers, but those could be subjective. To this very day, I come across as this human being where call it my sensitive side, call it my childish side, call it my incredibly humane side, whatever you want to call it, but I don't understand pain, poverty, suffering, hurting others. It's just something I will never understand in my life.
All right.
And
Yeah.
nor should you. Nor should anyone. It's
Mm-hmm.
not a thing you should learn.
Yeah. 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 It- yeah. I mean, this takes me to you know, when I get chance to ponder about this kind of topic, this is really deep and sensitive. Also, with some of the years I've spent in New York, also, in hospitality, we indulge sometimes too much, right? I came back to Nepal. I don't drink as much, but there are times when I relapse. Um, but I used to think this is what it is, that's what I thought, I guess, in New York. And there are times I'm not really feeling good, but I'm taking it as, this is life, right? Come back to Nepal, and there are significant behavior, lifestyle changes. Some, I think I was craving it subconsciously. Maybe, it's just like you guys met, maybe it was destined to happen you know some happens because I'm in a different place. It's just, I call it luck. And for the first time, just like how you encounter Rahul, the suffering, for the first time, I really, there were times when I really felt good, without me taking drugs or alcohol or anything, being normal. I'm like happy, you know, and
That's
that
awesome.
was the time I thought, dude, I know so many friends or so many people back in New York. They suffer from anxiety. That's normal for them, like panic attacks, things like that. That's those things are normal. I see comments. That's what I thought myself too. I suffer from anxiety as well. Yeah, later part of later part of my stay in New York. But I'm 100% cured right now. I might have my own problems, but those problems are not related to my body. I'm gonna age, I might feel pain, but those are not. I think a lot of things I've been solved without me taking any medication and things like that. And this is when I thought I'm not good at talking or anything, but I thought, I got to make this podcast. I got to talk about happiness. I got to invite people, my friends. It doesn't have to be some celebrity, it got to be my friends I know, and we talk about happiness, what makes us happy, so on and forth. So
I
you,
think you've had a I think
yes,
you've had a what I like to term holistic awakening, which is wonderful. I think it's amazing. I mean, I'm really really happy to hear you are where you are and you feel so good, you feel so happy, and only you know deep inside what it is that makes you happy. And it's an incredible feeling when we as human beings can focus on what truly makes us happy, not content, not settling, but truly what makes us happy and what makes us happier day by day.
sure. I'm not in a position to like claim that I have, had the key for, happiness, but in comparing, as you just said, comparing myself, my inner body, I'm this whole life in comparison, I think this is the happiest internally. It's more so internally I've become. And that was mostly due to meditation. I try to say it in every podcast, not as a guru, but just try to mention it for anybody who might be interested. Because when you say God and Buddha, that created a spark in my mind, and I'm like, I before talking with you guys too, I was meditating for an hour. Like an hour or a 2 hour meditation is in my routine. Besides, I took some like 10 days courses that really helped me to sort of understand what it is. We again, let's not deviate too much here. We can really talk about it if we want, but let me get back to you guys. Before I sort of ask you some personal questions, I want to know what makes you guys happy, both of you happy. What makes you happy?
You begin. Go ahead.
Just being us, being the original, authentic us. I don't put a show up for him. He doesn't put a show up for me. He is not Mr. Rahul Mukerji. I'm not Mr. Krupa Vyas, a social activist. I'm just Krupa. He's just Rahul. We are
Awesome.
normal people who love each other, who enjoy the same taste. Like, for example, it'd be weird if I say this, but we are avid horror movie fans. We would be up at 3 in the morning watching horror
Watching
movies.
horror films.
Horror films.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's our way
Awesome.
of bonding, connecting. It's a similar liking that we
Like,
have.
Yeah.
after I met him, I have never seen so many movies in my life before. Horror movies. Like, I began to watch horror movies, foreign movies that actually I like.
Mm-hmm.
I don't understand them. That's why we have some captions at the bottom to read them. But
Yeah.
they are nice. I enjoy them. And I'm like, where was I for the last 30 years? Why didn't I see this?
Yeah.
Why didn't I know
Yeah.
this? So he actually changed me for better. And I think I changed it for better, right?
Yeah,
I'm
I
not
mean,
sure.
I would say we have both brought about like a lot of positives in each other. For me, what makes us spark, what makes us both happy is the little things. I always say that, well, I always knew that should I have gotten married one day, and I did, well, I mean, here we are. I knew that it would be the little things with that individual that would make us happy. Watching movies together, Netflix night, Amazon night,
Exactly.
or me
And that's what counts.
cooking some wonderful things. I like to cook, so I cook wonderful things,
Krupa,
and
is he a good cook? Is Rahul a good cook?
He's a fantastic cook. I'll be honest with you, I'm Indian. I
Mm-hmm.
shouldn't say this. I probably got a lot of flack for saying this. I don't step in the kitchen. I don't step in the kitchen except to drink water
Yeah,
or go in the fridge to see what's in the fridge. That's it.
yeah.
I don't do cooking. I can't do cooking. He does all the cooking, and he loves it that way. He's like, when I go in the kitchen, he's the first one to say, "Get out of the kitchen. I don't want you in here." So he loves his kitchen. His kitchen for him is his worship place.
That's amazing.
Like as soon as he comes home from work, he won't sit down on the couch. He won't drink water. He won't be like, "Hey, what's up, babe? How was your day?" He'll go in the kitchen. So I know that either he's outside or he's in the kitchen. I know that. And
Yeah,
if he's in the kitchen, he's happy man. So
that's
I know if he's cooking, he is very happy.
it's really those things we take for granted, I think, that keep the two of us happy. Or at least, I mean, the thing is, I feel that's what keeps happiness in this home, where we're reminiscing about old days, we're talking about funny moments with family, jokes, talking about our past, hopes for the future. These little things really, really keep you level headed,
Exactly.
happy,
Mhm.
sane. Um, it gives you a greater intrigue for life.
Sure.
To me, it doesn't have to be, well, what do I buy today? Where do we go today? What are we spending on? It doesn't have to be all
That's
that.
not to say he doesn't spoil with gifts and other things. He does, but he knows that I don't enjoy those things as much as I enjoy time with him. I don't want gifts. I don't want big fancy handbags or big fancy diamond rings or big fancy dinner restaurant. I I had that life already. I've been through that. I don't care for that anymore. I come from a family that has all this. I want a man who is there for me emotionally, mentally, physically, which he is 24/7.
Yeah.
I'm like, we have this rule ever since we got married. It's not a rule. It's like a nice tradition or whatever you want to call it. Every time he goes outside, he knows I'm right for him. As soon as he goes in, especially nowadays, after the COVID and everything. So every 20-30 minutes, he just shoots a text saying, "I'm okay, babe. I'm doing fine. Don't worry. I ate. Did you eat?" And those texts, those little messages, they mean the world to me. I literally have my messages on my phone from day one from him.
Awesome.
I don't delete messages from him. I will delete any conversations from my family and other friends, but not from him. I have our every single conversation, whether it's on text, Instagram, Facebook, every single conversation. So I cherish each moment with him. Like it's not like what he does for me; it's what we do for each other.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like what makes us happy is that in this household, we have no gender roles. It's not like, oh, because you're a woman, you cook, or because you're a man, you go to work.
Yeah.
I don't cook.
Yeah.
I do vacuum and all that. I don't cook. He likes to cook. He likes to do He likes to clean the house. He likes to do other things which normally Indian men don't do, which I don't get why.
Yeah.
Because when you're a partner, when you're married,
Sure.
and your wife and your husband is your partner, you don't divide your work. You just do it. If you want to do it, you do it. You don't say, oh, this is your job. This is my job. This is not his job. It's not his job to go out and earn money. It's not his job to take out trash. it's not his job to clean the bathroom sink or kitchen sink or whatever. It's on us. If he wants to do it, he does it. If I feel like doing it, I do it.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
in this household, we are more than a couple. We are best friends.
That's incredible, Krupa. I'm really intrigued, excited. I'm super happy, and I'm not making this up. I totally agree on everything you have just spoken right now. Everything, I'm a married man too, and it all speaks true to me, and it speaks authentic, and I'm super happy to just listen, and this said, I want to sort of take this take our conversation to, because a few questions I want to ask. I think our audience might also enjoy and learn from it.
Sure, we're
sharing.
open books.
Yeah.
Don't be shy.
So Rahul from New York, we got Krupa from New Jersey, right? Back home in India, that's where the roots are coming from. We are tell us a little bit about India, where you guys come from.
Sure, I'll start off. I'll keep it simple and sweet so we can cover a range of topics, and keep everything simple and sweet so we can cover a range of topics.
What did she say? No.
Sort of, kind of.
I talk a lot.
Okay, so, well, first of all, I'm born and brought up in New York City, so let's establish that.
Yeah.
But my mom and dad are Bengali, specifically what we call in India Probashi Bengali. It means they're Bengalis who were born outside of the state of West Bengal. So my dad was born in Allahabad, which is in Uttar Pradesh.
Okay.
And my mom was born in Lucknow, which is the capital of Uttar Pradesh. So they both had most of their childhood, adulthood outside of West Bengal.
Okay.
So that's why we're called Probashi Bengali.
Mm-hmm.
Now, in terms of our homes, we have our home in Kolkata. In English, they call it Calcutta. In Hindi, Calcutta. But I also have my late grandfather's house up in the Himalayas of Uttarakhand. It's called Rani Khet, which means the Queen's Meadow. Rani Khet. It's all the way up in the mountains. Beautiful, beautiful town. And we have family actually scattered all over India. We have family in Bengaluru, which was Bangalore, Mumbai, Kolkata, Madhya Pradesh, specifically Raipur. So we have family just about everywhere. And ever since I was a child, we've been going back to India nonstop. So it's not like I'm not connected with my roots. I am fluently conversational in Hindi and in Bengali.
Wow.
I have traveled to most parts of India, which most people have not gone to. It's really something I urge everyone to do. It's such a large country, vast culture with so many states and languages and dialects and cuisines, and just a giant chaotic melting pot.
Yeah.
And that's me. And I'll pass it on to Krupa now to tell us about her origins.
Thank you for that. I appreciate that. Okay, so I was born in Mumbai, India, and apart from what people believe that I'm from Gujarat, I have never been to Gujarat.
Never been to there?
I have never been to Gujarat in my life.
Talk louder.
I was born in Mumbai, and then I spent my first 9 years of my life there in childhood. When I was 9, I came back here. I came here, and I never went back. So I never been to Gujarat, opposed to what people think. People think I come from this, I come from that. I don't. Trust me. I'm a complete New Jerseyan. And now New Yorker.
Because
sorry.
You're right. Yeah. Because I want to sort of get back to whatever the intelligence, I guess, information we could add so that we could really dig deeper into this topic, the happiness and things like that. My follow-up question for almost all the guests is, as Rahul, you said earlier, sometimes I think we take things for granted. And that's when we stop taking things for granted, suddenly we find pleasure or content happiness on small things we might never notice in our life, right? um so I tend to think the happiness is also related uh in some form or another with some of the struggles and challenges we face as a human being. And everybody goes through struggle. And this is, I think, the main agenda of this podcast is to talk about what we have gone through so that we could relate. People can really hear and listen from us. And there's this environment of sharing and sort of, um, you know, just uh, feeling, knowing that people go through uh, things. This said, if you would, um, I can start with Rahul, and
Sure.
Krupa can chip in. If you guys can talk, if you're comfortable talking about some of the challenges you have faced as a human being,
Sure. I
or
guess I'll start that
yes,
conversation. And again, it's an open book because I find this to be a holistic experience, what we're doing right now.
sure,
The three of us, I find this that we can impart
It's
knowledge on each other.
therapeutic.
Yeah, it's very therapeutic at the same time, if you want to call it that. Um, so my greatest struggle in life has always been somewhat of understanding this world and how it relates to my identity. In the sense that ever since I was a kid, I like to believe, I have been told at least, I'm a very holistic human being. I'm a very pure minded person, a pure hearted person. But I was always also told, but that doesn't get you anywhere in life. I've also seen a lot of hypocrisy in life where you're taught, do good, don't steal, don't do this, don't do that, be good, be kind. But then I see
The opposite.
the opposite, and those who taught us this not living up to those words. So that has been a very key struggle in my life to just sort of contemplate this world and why things are the way they are. It's kind of like, for example, you're taught in this world to never bully someone. Bullying is bad. Or you're taught to never shout at someone or call each other names. But yet, when you're being bullied or you have family who is calling you names because you may not be living up to their potential or being a high achiever or a topper or a ranker, all of a sudden you may feel like you're less of a human being. That happened to me quite a bit, quite a bit. So it's okay for me to say, and I say this to everyone out there, yes, I have gone through many bouts of low levels of depression, maybe high levels of depression. And it's okay to be sad. It's okay to find yourself. It's okay to heal in all types of ways, which I've done. Partly I've done via traveling. Traveling has always been my go-to medicine, go-to tonic, therapy. Traveling to far exotic places in the world where a lot of people may not have even heard of, like um, Phuket or Pattaya or Bali, Indonesia. Why did I go there? Because I always related with the culture there, the way of life there, the mysticism, the simplicity, the holistic world. It healed me. Seeing nature, seeing the blue water, seeing what I think life should truly be about and what the human prime focus should be about. And I guess sometimes it could be very geographic as well. Like you don't find a lot of those holistic, pure, or traits of human decency in one geographic location, like say North America. But yet I found all of that in Southeast Asia. And I find myself going back to Southeast Asia, wanting or craving that sort of a lifestyle. So travel healed me. I really crave the day that I can book a plane ticket, get on a plane again, and travel international. Hopefully, this time the country that I visit starts with the N, ends with the L. Hint, hint. And yeah, I mean, those have been my struggles, but it has shaped me in the sense that it allows me to travel more. It motivates me to do good out there in this world, and it motivates me to really talk about the importance of human decency. I think human decency is so important that my struggles have motivated me to talk or help or explain to people why kindness or helpfulness or being good, doing good, human decency is so important. And with that, I will now pass on to
Sure.
Wifey.
Yeah.
Thank you for that.
Great,
And
Rahul.
before I
Thank you.
start my own story, I just want to say that I've been seeing him for the last 2 years, and I know it's killing him to stay in New York City for the last 2 years. He can't wait to get out of here. Like, he checks plane tickets every single day. It's that serious. He checks plane tickets and destinations every single day where he could go next. And I have a book of places that he would like to go and make up for the last 2 years that he's been stuck here. So he's not kidding when he says he wants to travel. I don't know which one he loves more, me or travel. I think it's equal.
I love you,
But
you know that.
I know, I love you more, honey.
Okay.
But anyway, coming back to me, it's a kind of a long answer, so please bear with me.
We have all the time in the world.
Sure.
See, I am a disabled person. I don't like to talk about it because it's a part of my life which I don't want to shed light on because I know what people will think. And frankly, I am tired, I am disgusted, I am fed up of people questioning me, same round of questions like, oh my God, it's so painful to you. We feel so sorry for you. I don't want your freaking sympathy.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want your fake sorry. Keep it to yourself. And no, you don't feel my pain. Trust me, no one can. That's the most fake line ever. That I feel your pain, you don't feel anyone's pain. Unless you go through it, you don't feel the pain. Like, for example, he has gone through many torments. I can support his pain. I can feel it for him. I can never do it because I didn't go through it. Same like, if you're disabled, you can feel my pain. You are not disabled. So I'm disabled and I need help in walking. Not in the house, outside. Like outside the houses, or like, let's say if I go to the backyard or front yard or across the street, I need help walking. And I do hold on to something or someone. I prefer someone because someone can at least grab me
Sure.
when I stumble.
Mm-hmm.
But so I have been hearing things like, "Oh, we feel sorry for you. Your life is ruined.
If
Your
you
life
walk,
is this. Your life is that."
Krupa, if you have, when you walk yourself, do you take support of maybe like a walking stick, or no?
Not in the house. Not in
Not
the
in the
house.
house, but
Because
outside.
in the house, I hold on to structures,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm getting better thanks to him. Like, he's been, first of all, a big thank you to my husband from the entire world, because he is doing something which in 30 years no doctor has done. Every doctor has give up on me, saying that she is incurable, and he is determined to make me walk normally 100% one day, which is very soon. I'm like, don't get me wrong, when he stretches me, when he makes me do all the workouts, I cry and scream. I cry my guts out. I scream my guts out. I cry my eyes out, but that's not the point. The point is that he is doing something and the efforts are being fruitful. You can
Mm-hmm.
see it because now I can walk a little better. I can stand a little better. I can stand a little straighter, and I can erase. I feel like I can erase that stigma on me that, oh, Krupa, a disabled person who can't
What
do
what
anything in life,
what is your
can't do anything.
condition called, Krupa? What's that condition? Is
Talk
it
about your condition, how it happened, the origins, the place, who, what, when, where, why, how.
no?
That's a lot.
Yeah, but
Okay, give me
simplify.
some time because I'm not as open as him. I don't like to put everything out there because
Again,
it's too personal to me.
again, this is
But I'll try to do my
whatever
best.
is comfortable to you, whatever is comfortable, because we also want
Sure.
to
No, I don't.
have the audience know, if it's a medical condition so that people can relate, things like
It's a
that.
medical condition. It's a medical condition. Then this happened to me when I was about 2.5 years old, I think, in India. And I got feverish. I got really sick. I had a high fever, and I was rushed to hospital. And some doctor gave me a very wrong medication, which had a reverse effect on me, which worsened my condition. So I had to be rushed back to the city and see a bigger doctor, bigger hospital. And the doctor said, okay, you know what? She will live, but first of all, let's see if she lives. Second of all, if she lives, she is bound to lose one of her senses forever. It can be anything. I could be blinded, deaf, no speaking, no vocal cords, no mobility, and many things. So when I woke up from a condition after like 2 months, my parents, my family, the doctors realized that I lost my ability to walk. I could talk fine, I could walk fine. I could talk fine, I could see fine, but I could not walk. I'm like, I was really bad. I was so bad that I couldn't walk even with support. But thanks to my mom, who literally gave up her life for next so many years to just cure me. Like she would take me to therapy centers, she would take me to therapists, and she would literally carry me on her back, like a backpack, and just walk miles upon miles to get me to a doctor, to a hospital, and she would then come home and give me again therapy for like next 3 or 4 hours. She toiled for me day and night. It's thanks to her that I can even walk a little bit in my life, and then after her, it's him. So if I have two heroes in my life, my two heroes are my mom, first of all, who actually gave me life twice. First she gave birth to me, then she made me live because I was a vegetable back when I got sick, and she was the one who brought me to my walking stage or living stage where I could even live a decent life. And then after my mom, I met him, who taught me that, you know what, maybe being disabled is not such a bad thing. Because taught me that disability is a different ability. And he just changed my perspective altogether completely. And from that point on, I just started to value myself, attend to myself, work on myself, and just try to get better day by day.
So may I elaborate just a little, if you permit, on
Sure,
what you
go
have?
ahead.
Okay, so I took her permission. Obviously, it's
Sure.
the right thing. It's the right thing to do. In terms of a medical term, they call it Laze Syndrome. Leighs syndrome. Laze Syndrome. Um, Having studied her medical files and having studied that terminology, it's basically a breakdown of the nervous system where you lose your fine gait and motor skills. You develop like various impediments, and the brain sort of kind of like has this moment where it goes into shock and it disables a great part of the body. Laze syndrome. That's specifically what happened. From the stories that she tells me, like it happened when she was 2 years old, and it was partly due to like maybe a misdiagnosis or wrong administering of a particular medication. But yeah, as I tell her, disability is another ability. We're all equal in this world, no matter who we are.
And I like to add to my previous answer, if I may.
Yeah, go ahead.
So coming back to that question, what problems or difficulties I faced. See, being an Indian, being Gujarati, and being disabled, it's not a common thing. You won't see a lot of Gujaratis who are disabled. And so I always got that special spotlight, which I never wanted. I never asked for it, right? But I got it because of my condition. And it made me very uncomfortable for forever. And I'd be lying to you if I said it still doesn't make me uncomfortable. It does. It still does, because you want people to notice you, but you don't want people to notice you for your shortcomings. You want them to notice you for the strength. Like, so to me, I'm like, I was always the point of conversation on dining tables, or point of conversation mockery. Like, oh my God, look at the girl who walks with bent knees. Oh my God, what will happen to Krupa in her life? She can't get married. She can't find a decent guy. Which abled guy will ever marry her? Because every abled man wants an abled woman. No able man wants a disabled woman. That is the notion. That is still the notion. So when I found him, my community actually looked through him, every single detail, seeing in which way is he disabled. Because they couldn't process, they couldn't comprehend the fact that an abled man can fall in love with me. Wow. They couldn't process it. So they were like, what is wrong with him? Is he bent leg? Is he retarded? Is he this? Is he that? I'm like, he is a normal, complete, abled man. Why is it so hard to believe that? I don't get that. Or like, why do you always keep everyone in this box? Like, oh, if you're disabled, you belong in this box, and you can't get out. I'm not a thing. I'm not an object. I'm a person. I don't belong in a box.
You see, like, this issue from sorry to interrupt you, Krupa, but you see this issue
go ahead,
coming from like particular communities or particular type of people, or you encounter this insensitive, rude, pretty blatant, really obnoxious comments. I find it really offensive myself just listening to it. Coming from, like, where do you think it's coming from? Like illiteracy is just like, can you share a little?
He's asking if you can shed some
religious
light.
hoax. Religious hoax.
Well, he wants to know specifically the who's, the communities.
I'll tell you, community, like, for example,
who in your life has been saying.
Yeah, I'll tell you that. For example, for the last 2 years that we were married, we have been harassed. I say the word harass. I know what it means, so I know what I'm using. Harassed by Gujarati community, by so-called Samaj people, by so-called Swamis, who think that, oh, because I'm Gujarati, I don't have a right to love or marry outside of a community, which is he's a Bengali. So of course, I had to go out of a community to marry him, which to them it's a sin. So they already deem me a sinner now. First, it was bad enough that they deemed me as a disabled person, handicapped person, but now I'm done. I'm not just a handicapped person. I'm a handicapped sinner. Wow. Because I married him for love. Because you know why? Because he's Bengali, and he eats meat.
Okay.
And
Okay.
But I'm like, why can't a non-vegetarian and a vegetarian live in the same house and live happily?
Okay.
Because, for example, like every day, whenever he eats meat, he always makes sure he makes something for me. And by the way, our utensils, our cloths in the kitchen, our stations of vegetarian, non-vegetarian are separated.
Yeah.
So there's no touchy between the utensils, or there's no like, whatever. What do you want to call it?
Yeah.
So we don't have that, like, oh, because he ate hot dog today, I may have, bits of hot dog in my sandwich. No, I don't.
Yeah, you
Because
both are
when he made my
respectfully
sandwich,
respecting each other's space and respectfully,
Sure.
exactly. Because when he
loving
made
each
when he
other,
made my
living
sandwich,
under the same roof as a partner that you
Of
guys
course.
love each other.
exactly.
So I'll
Shouldn't
elaborate
see any
just a
problems
little
with
from
it.
like
Yes. Mm.
I'll just elaborate from a very generic independent standpoint.
Yeah.
Like she said, the thing is, well, number one, I don't even remember the last time that I ate meat. I find myself to be very healthy,
Yeah.
being more veg than non-veg. What we have in this home is respect for each other as human beings. Again,
Hmm.
human decency, um, love, kindness towards each other as human beings. In my household, what I love about my household is we don't see culture, traditions, class, race, creed, nationality. We don't see any of that. I cannot speak for her culture. She will do all elaborating on that. I can speak for my
That's
culture, of
one more
course.
point of contradiction.
I can speak for the fact that in this world, there are stereotypes. Yes, there are cultural stereotypes, racial stereotypes, all types of stereotypes. We are the human beings who feed those stereotypes because
Right.
unfortunately, we live up to those stereotypes as human beings. So we're at fault. However, what I've always known in my heart is, again, kindness, humanity, universal human decency, and she knows the same thing. Having been with her for 2 years now, that's what she represents, that's what she is, human decency.
Exactly.
So when she tells me like these things that's happening to her, as she says, from her own community, even I've gone through things with my own community, like for example, in Bengali culture, if you're not a topper or ranker or intellect, a scientist, a doctor, engineer, all those high-end things, you don't really matter much. Oh, for the most part, you don't really matter much as a human being unless you're cream of the crop. You
Basically,
got,
if you're in a big fat paycheck,
yeah,
you don't matter.
you got to be a big intellectual. So when I hear these things, and of course it reminds me of my own culture, I get shocked when I hear these things about her culture. Sometimes, me being me, I like to find the positive in everything. I'm always like, oh, that can't be true. There's got to be some good people out there. It's just a stereotype. I mean, let's focus on the good apples instead of the bad apples. But then incidents happen where it just reminds you, like, oh, it's not all roses and petals out there. There's a lot of thorns and poison ivy out there at the same time.
Hmm.
I'd like to add to that.
Yeah, sure.
You're down.
Please.
So, like for example, the 2 points which I would like to add is that first, when he said we're humans, which is right, because I told him before we even started dating, I told him, I'm like, look, just because I'm Gujarati, just because I come from Gujarati culture, doesn't mean I'm Gujarati in my heart. I'm atheist. I don't believe in religion. I don't believe in culture. To me, only one religion matters, which is humanism or humanity. I believe in humanism. What's wrong about that? What is wrong about that? Like, for example, I really like the fact, I fell in love with the fact that he has a pet turtle in his house, which is his daughter. And the moment he told me that, I fell in love with that turtle too without even seeing her. I'm like, oh my God, that's so beautiful.
Yeah.
And believe that turtle right now is my life. If I don't see her every single day when I wake up, I got antsy. Like, where is she? What happened? I get restless, and he knows that. And she loves to follow me around. If I can't go to the bathroom without her following me.
Yeah.
I can't even go to the bathroom or go to the kitchen or go to the bedroom without her following me. She loves to tail me around.
How old is the turtle?
So
I've seen
7 years of age.
she
7
will be
years.
7 soon.
She will be 7.
Oh, nice. Yes,
We
Krupa.
can show her that. Can you bring her here?
Yeah. I mean, would you
Yeah.
and the audience like to see her?
Yeah,
She's
yeah,
so cute.
absolutely.
The
Sure,
Yeah,
ability.
I'll bring her
let's
right now.
introduce
Give me
our
one
So
second.
first turtle for the podcast. What's
Yeah.
her name?
Sure, of course.
Turtle is a
Her
Yeah.
name is
Bermuda.
Bermuda.
wow, Bermuda. Okay,
Bermuda
let's have
Mukherjee.
Bermuda here. Sure.
Bermuda Mukherjee.
Yeah.
So that she is so cute. She is awesome. She's a yellow belly slider, and he rescued her.
Okay.
And when like he literally got her when she was this small, like a size of a quarter, right?
Yeah.
So he is attached to her.
So here
That's
I'd
his
like
life.
to introduce Bermuda.
Hi, Bermuda. Hi.
Say hi to Uncle Sandeep.
Hello. Can you see me? Can you hear me?
You see everybody? Look at that. What's that?
Hi.
Who's that? Who's that? Say hi to everybody. Hi.
Hi. Hello.
So right now she
welcome to the
was.
podcast. I know
Yeah,
you're not
look,
gonna
you're,
speak, so you
you're on
can
a
listen
podcast.
to us.
Thank you. I mean, a cameo.
I made a cameo. So she's about the size of my hand. I first found her when she was like the size of a quarter, but she's my whole life, my whole entire life. I'm just gonna put her down because they get restless very easily.
Like he actually told me this, and this is true. That if something were to ever happen to her, he'd be the first one to die, to like collapse or whatever. And I've seen that happen. When she gets sick or when she gets anything, when she has upset stomach or whatever, he's the first one to cry. He's the first one to like
Be very
collapse
worried.
or be worried or run to the doctor. Like, oh my God, what happened? Which is a great thing, which is a lovely thing.
So
like I have never seen a person or individual loving an animal so much, which again,
do they reciprocate, Krupa? Like, for me, besides, I did not have experience with turtle as a pet. Neither I've read it, in the internet or so forth. But how are they as a pet? Or do they reciprocate like Rahul and Krupa, the turtle? How do you?
Of course
like,
they do.
You communicate in like what sense? Because
Of course. Like,
I'm
for
curious.
example, she needs to see my finger, she needs to see a object. So if I want to say go there, I just say go there with a finger, like go there. She knows what this means.
Wow.
So, so if I say go there or eat this, or if I do this, she knows this means food. Because this is what I do to get her food. This is what Rahul does. So if I do if he does a voice,
like
voice
sometimes
means come here.
I tend to do like sweet tiny voices like
That
"Can
voice
you
means
come
here.
come. Then she automatically knows because she's grown up with this voice for 6 years.
Yeah.
She's very domesticated, so naturally she has a pattern of eating where she wants to go, and she knows that.
And by the way, did I mention she loves my clothes? Yeah, she loves my clothes.
Yeah, like we'll keep a pile of like dirty clothes on the floor sometimes.
She loves you.
Yeah,
and she'll see it as like one giant hill, a hill of clothes. So she'll either climb on them to make it her hill, or she'll go under them to sleep. But Krupa will come back to the point as to like how
I'd just like to add
how having a turtle became, as she'll tell you, a bone of contention, and she'll tell you the who, the whats, the wheres, and whys and hows.
I'll just add something. One day, me and Rahul were sitting in the living room, and she was in the bedroom playing, and we had a really big bag of clothes, like a garbage bag, a really big bag, and it was quiet for like almost 20 minutes, right? And then we go inside to check on her. Guess what we see? We see her that she has climbed the bag. She's sitting on the bag, waiting for us to come there and get her down, because she can't get down. So we had to literally go in there, get her down. So only because she has to go by again on the bag, which she loves to do, by the way. She loves his. She loves clothes, especially mine. She would literally take a shirt of mine on the floor and drag it through her house.
And what does
drag it through
she
a
eat?
house with
What does she eat? What do you guys feed her?
Specifically, it's a combination of veg and non-veg because all animals need that combination, scientifically proven. So we give her seafood pellets like that we get from Petco or PetSmart, or we give her veggie pellets that we also get from Petco or PetSmart. Occasionally, though, as a treat, I'll give her like
shrimp
plain cooked human shrimp. Again, plain cooked human shrimp
or a guppy fish.
or little fishes that you can get for like 20 cents at Petco or PetSmart. She's a natural by nature, by science, she's a carnivore. There are carnivorous parts of her, and that's just the turtle in her. As she grows older, she evolves. She learns about her predatory skills.
But on the contrary to what people think, our turtle does not bite unless you annoy her.
Like really annoy her.
Irritate her.
She's never bitten
like
anyone.
If we touch her tail, or if we touch her head, she will get angry and she will hiss first to warn you. She will hiss. If you understand it, she will bite you.
Yep.
And believe me, her teeth are sharp. Like there are times where she took off his skin. From his finger.
Well, no, she didn't take off my skin, but it left a mark.
Yeah, mark.
It left a mark because her jaws are very. No, I didn't even bleed.
Okay.
I had a very red mark, like a super red mark. But yeah, that's how sharp and powerful her jaws are.
Her teeth, believe me, to this day, her teeth scare me. I'm not gonna lie.
So
her teeth do scare me.
So as we deviated, do you want to continue like where the contention kind of happened with the turtle?
Oh yeah, like for example, when I met her, the first time I met her, it took me some time to get to know her, to be around her, because as a Gujarati, I had never been around animals. This was my first encounter with the animal, that's with a reptile. Usually when you hear a pet, you hear a dog or a bird or a rabbit or a cat. You never hear a reptile as a pet. So obviously it took time for us to bond, me and her. But we bonded. We took a long time to learn each other's reactions, each other's lifestyles, habits. Like she knows, for example, now that when I get up, I don't mean to give food. Before, she used to follow me every time I got up from my couch or bed. She thought it was food time. Mom would give us food. It's our food time. Every time I get up, it's our food time. So she knows that it's our food time. And when it is food time, Mom would call me. So now she's trained though. She's very well trained. Like trust me, when I say very, very well trained, I mean it, because our turtle will not pee or poop anywhere besides her tank. And I mean that.
Yeah.
How many reptiles do you know who you can train?
Yeah.
You can train a dog or a cat, but you can't train reptiles. But we have trained her. He has trained her, more importantly, before 6 years. Before I came here, now it's my job too, and I like it. Now, after 2 years, it's fair to say that she has become this essential part of my life. Yeah. If I see her one day, I get restless.
So where?
Every time he says that go back to your mom's place for a few days, I'm like, yeah, on one condition, I take her, and he's like, no, you can't take her.
So she's obviously the source of your happiness. And
of course.
But then for Sandeep and of course his audience, explain what happened. Like, is there any opposition or?
There's much more opposition.
Talk about that.
For example, in Gujarati culture, you don't see animals to begin with. You don't see pets, and that's a reptile. Never. It's a big no-no. So we got advices from people to give her up, to just give her into a pet shop or a pond, or just leave her in a pond, or leave her in the water, or leave her on the streets. I'm like, you know what? It's not your pets. It's my daughter. It's not my pet. It's my daughter. It's my child. I love her like a child. I will teach my human children that when my human children are born, that is your elder sister. You will respect her. That is not a toy. You will not play with her. You will not treat her like a ball. She is not a toy. She is a person. To me she's a person. Like in this household, we literally say there are three people living in here: Rahul, Krupa, and Bermuda. There are three people living here. She's a person. She's my person. Like when he's gone to work for most of the hours, I talk to her, I play with her, I do everything with her. I give her a bath, I sing her poetry. Yeah, he sings her Twinkle Twinkle every night before she goes to bed. When he goes to bed, that's a ritual that every night and morning we have to sing her Twinkle Twinkle. Yeah, and she loves that, and we love that.
Basically,
How are you
to
coping with,
elaborate.
yes, Rahul?
No,
Krupa, how are
go
you
ahead, Sandeep.
coping with these, baseless stereotypes, which has, in some form or another, has really, not contributed to a, to your piece of state of mind, right? With it could be either forming opinions on religion or simple things like pets. What are the ways you have incorporated in your lives to cope up with it, and what
Easy.
in what scenario you
Ignore.
think, yes, would be a best
No,
case for you?
easy. Ignore them.
Yeah.
I
So,
ignore people. I ignore everything and everyone.
so
I do what I want to do. I listen to my heart. That's my guiding lights. My heart is my heart tells me what to do, when to do, how to do it, and I do it. And if you don't approve for it, if someone doesn't approve or doesn't like it, it's not my problem. It's your problem. It's your business. I don't want to know about it. That's my job. If you want to call it cold or call that bad, I don't care. But I'm not gonna live my life according to your terms.
Mm-hmm.
This is my life.
Do they come after you in, like, maybe,
Of course they
emotionally,
do.
or like,
All the time.
yeah, yeah.
All the
so
time.
so now the thing is, since he's asked, do they come after you, and he's mentioned the word they. Um, tell his audience like the days, what you deal with, who you deal with, because there's a lot of people probably listening in. They may be hearing the word or term
And
Gujarati for
maybe
the
not
first time.
today. I guess, you should speak only what's comfortable to you, and we can always carry
Yeah,
on
of
this
course, what's
podcast
comfortable.
in
Sure, of course.
another episode.
No, I don't.
We talked about
I don't mind.
Bermuda. We talked about you guys. I think this is a part of the podcast, and I really enjoyed every single bit of it.
Like, I guess the thing
Yep.
is, we've been
See,
battling
for
cultural
example,
stereotypes. So
Mm-hmm.
I like to call us a bicultural marriage.
Yeah.
No culture is perfect. They never are. Hold on. They never are. There's no such thing as a perfect culture. There are cultural stereotypes, cultural beliefs. Culture ties in with religion and traditions, and maybe certain cultures are more religious or more traditional than others. That's just the way the world is. Krupa and I, her being an atheist, me being an agnostic, we don't.
we're perfect.
We're perfect for each other, but we're not perfect human beings. I will say that I am not
No,
perfect
for each other.
for each other. Yeah, let's establish that. But the thing is, me and her, we're not able to comprehend religion, traditions, culture, rituals,
See,
beliefs.
because what kind
We just believe that, you know what, if I see, for example, the first thing I'd like to do when I land in Nepal and I see Sandeep is give my brother a big jadu ki chappi, a big hug in Hindi, and then pop open a cold beer, cheers, and just reminisce about old times. That's
exactly
happiness.
Mhm.
But when it comes to like families and culture,
we don't get that.
I don't get that because everything is nitpicked. They like to nitpick everything.
See, because I wanted to add that what kind of religion or culture teaches you to mistreat animals
Yeah.
and mistreat people with disabilities? If your religion teaches you that, if your culture teaches you that, it's a wrong religion. It's a wrong religion. It's a wrong culture. Because no religion, no culture should teach you hate.
Yeah.
Culture, religion should be based on love, humanity, compassion.
Sure.
If you don't have these three things, I'm sorry, but you could be the greatest religious figure, but to me, you're nothing more than a monkey who does things to please others.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
And I'm sorry, I don't like to be a monkey. I'm not doing tricks for anyone.
Yeah.
I don't like to be a monkey. I will live my life. I will be vocal about my opinions. My opinions are, I'm atheist.
Yeah.
I live my life the way I want to live. Like, for example, when we were dating, when the word got out that Krupa is dating Rahul Mukerji, it's like all hell broke loose.
Damn.
Oh my God, how can a Gujarati girl love Bengali? He eats meat, she's vegetarian. He drinks alcohol, she's Gujarati, she can't drink. He's agnostic, he travels the world. You don't know where he's been, what he has done. I'm like, I know what he's been, what he has done. Trust me. I'm like, even when he went to Bali, trust me. I was on the phone with him for more than you can count.
Yeah.
Our batteries ran out. I will tell you how much we have trust bonding. You want to tell him about
I'll
the
tell him, yeah.
Bali incident where
Yeah.
you were offered?
Of course. Well, I just like to say I sound super cool when I tell these stories about my traveling. I'm just kidding. So basically the thing is, me being the avid traveler, it was 2019 and I was headed to Bali.
And we were not engaged. We were not engaged. We were newly dating.
Yeah,
Mhm.
I was headed to Bali, Indonesia at the time. So over there, it's a very chill culture. It's a resort island where tourism is huge. Clubs, nightclubs, restaurant, hotels, beaches, resorts, a paradise island. And I had assured her that, well, keep us both here. Okay. I had assured her that when I'm there, you got to trust me. You don't have anything to worry about. You got to trust me. So there was this day where I was at a bar enjoying some Indonesian beer, specifically Bintang, for those who have never had it, Bintang, good Indonesian lager beer. And the bartender wanted to know where I was from, what I do, blah, blah, blah. You know, typical bartender to patron conversation. And then he all of a sudden said, hey, if you're not doing anything at night, do you want a girl? I have a 22-year-old virgin. I told him right there and then, if you ever talk to me that way again, I will literally punch you. And I showed my fist and I will break your teeth. Don't ever talk to me that way again. I have someone in my life. I'm about to get married. Don't ever talk to me that way again. The thing is, to me, I know I'm a decent human being. That to me is human decency. That to me is a representation of love. That I'm so in love with someone, I'm happy to have someone, even if I'm halfway across the world on another continent. That person is always in my mind, my heart. That's happiness.
Incredible. This is an amazing story. This is great.
Thank you.
Yeah. Awesome.
She's just in the bathroom. She'll be back.
Okay. Yes. When she comes back, maybe we should wrap up, and I have like ending questions for you guys about
Yeah, sure. While
Yeah.
she's away, if you
Great.
want to ask me anything.
Rahul, we talked about struggles and life in general. Let's get a little philosophical while we wait for her. And
Sure.
can you what do you think life is, brother? What's from your point of view? How do you see life?
I see life as an everyday learning experience. What I'd like to tell everyone out there, and something I tell myself every day as well, because I feel it's very important to have self conversations as well. Have one moment of the day to yourself, to teach yourself something. life is a learning experience. Learn everything and anything every day, because it's truly, in my opinion, a wonderful thing. To that, I'll say ignorance is not bliss. Learn a lot, apply your knowledge. Knowledge will give you power, but power comes with responsibility, of course. Because some will say, no, ignorance is bliss, because if I don't know a lot, I'll be safe, I'll be content, I won't get myself into trouble. Well, you'll only get yourself into trouble if you misuse what you know. Learn a lot, read.
What are you reading
explore.
nowadays? What's your what are some of your favorite books, Rahul?
My personal favorite book of all time, if anybody has a chance to read it, is Fahrenheit 451 by Ray Bradbury. Once again, Fahrenheit 451 by Ray Bradbury. It's about the future where there are no books. Books are banned. Books are illegal. You have firefighting squads who actually go searching for books and they burn them because books are illegal by law. But it's also about a secret society who stumbles upon books and how the state or the government finds books to be such a threat. To me, that book resonated so much because I think what we're seeing is in today's world, um, this great divide or this great chasm that has opened up where intellectuals are looked upon as elitists, or you have a case which is actually, again, a sad case where people who are quote unquote intellectual look down upon people who may not have the same level of knowledge as them. But I always say that, you know what? Your weakest link can sometimes change the world. It's the weakest link who has the strongest determination, the strongest attitude. Never count out this concept of weakest link. So that book resonates to me so much due to the fact that like this world nowadays is having this divide between, again, um, intellects and so-called non-intellects.
What do you think from your point of view, how this divide can be solved? Is it possible? Do you think is it even possible, or
Sure.
do you think
I
there's a
think the
way?
first thing is, yeah, the first thing is we all have to find, first and foremost, it comes back again to this term I use a lot, human decency.
Mm-hmm.
We've lost ourselves as humans. We've lost ourselves as people. Um, we are not perfect by any means. I'm not either. I'm far from perfect. In fact, I am. All the compliments that she's given me, I'd like to tell the audience she talks too much. I am none of those. I have such a long way to go in life. Such a long way to go. Um, but thank you for those compliments. But still, I have such a long way to
We,
Can
go
I
we
add
appreciate
something?
in
your
life. Hold
humility.
on.
We have, you know,
Thank you.
I'm
I'm just being
talking
honest.
on
I have
behalf of
such a long way to go.
myself. I
As
know
much as
that.
I know, there's so much that I don't know. There's just so much more that I don't know, so much that I want to know. Starting the Solving this problem will require us to first approach each other with human decency, and for that we need to have a civic mind. If we're going to engage in conversations, it ought to be cordial, civic minded. We're going to have powerful, bold views, which some of us may adhere to very much. But I feel it's important to talk about those views, not impose those views,
Discuss them.
rather than find common ground. For example, culture is such a hotly contested topic, heatly debated topic. I think if we focus on not just acknowledging the wonders and positives of culture, but we have to talk about the negatives of culture and what we can do as a society or as a world to solve those negatives. Like, for example, we're seeing what's happening in Afghanistan right now. It's such a tragic, sad, horrific, beyond horrific situation. Yet, to me, it's shocking how many people in the world actually truly know about Afghan history and as to why Afghanistan came to this position, why Afghanistan is the way it is today. Do we know about the prior empires in Afghanistan? To most people, Afghanistan is simply, oh, you know what? It's a part of the Desi world. Woo, Desi pride, Afghan. There's more to Afghanistan. There's more to all of South Asia or Indian subcontinent or whatever you want to call it, Indo subcontinent, than just what we see in terms of beauty and color. Know your history, know facts, separate fact from fiction, know what's happening, have intellectual arguments, start the conversation with human decency, civic mindedness, have your facts, find common ground. That's how we'll solve problems.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Anytime.
So before it's been almost 1.5 hours. I think we, if we can, we should try to do another recording in coming future. But for this episode,
whatever you want,
let's try to wrap this episode with your ending thoughts. I want to ask, this is like a tradition of the podcast. I ask our guests, what is one advice you would give to the listeners in terms of what they need to get out of and what they need to get into? A habit, or maybe anything that you personally think maybe you should watch too much TV. It could be as simple as that, right? Or if something jumps in your mind, and what do you think from your point of view they should start doing right off the bat?
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll go first. First of all, let me just add this. Going back to what he said earlier about being perfect and imperfections, there is no such thing as perfect couple or perfect person or perfect human being or perfect scenario. We are not perfect by any means, trust me. We are two imperfect individuals who came together to make a decent life, not a perfect life. Because if you look at our history in the past few years, our life is far from being perfect. We argue, we disagree, we do everything that normal humans do, who fights and who argue, but guess what? We don't cross the boundaries of humanity. We don't call each other names. We don't use foul language. We don't abuse. We don't use physical violence. We don't use any of that. If we disagree on something, we sit down, we talk, and if we still disagree, we agree to disagree and move on. So just because you're husband and wife doesn't mean you have to agree on everything you want. No. Like, for example, there are many things that he agrees on, which I don't, and that's okay.
Yeah.
And there are many things that I agree upon, which he don't, and that is okay. That doesn't mean I love him less or he loves me less. Love has nothing to do with that. Trust me. Love is far greater than disagreements. And one advice is that follow your heart. Screw the people, screw the world, follow your heart. If you want to do something, screw the world.
Thank you.
Screw anyone, everyone.
Thank you, Krupa. And Rahul, you have
for me, my advice to everybody out there is: number 1, learn. Number 2, learn. Number 3, learn. Now, number 4, follow your passions and your heart.
Exactly.
Truly following your passions, what you like. It might be something as simple as just getting back to swimming again, or playing an instrument, or getting back to the gym, or getting that, in my case, getting that plane ticket and just going somewhere. Like, I'd like to tell the audience that one day I really hope to get to Egypt one day, because as a kid I used to study archaeology, Ancient Egypt was always my passion. So my dream destination is Egypt, to see the pyramids, the Sphinx, the the Museum of Egypt, the Valley of the Kings, the temples of Luxor, the temples of Abu Simbel. That ultimately would be my dream vacation. So have your bucket list, follow your passions, your hearts, pursue your goals, dreams, dream big,
Exactly. Dream
dream
crazy.
dream crazy, and learn. Just constantly learn.
This is
Exactly.
incredible. Thank you.
Don't try to.
What did I
I'll
miss?
just say one thing.
Yes.
Don't try to fit in a box. Don't try to fit in a box. You know what? Break the box, or and smash it with your foot. Smash it with a hammer. Don't try to fit in a box. Box does not exist. Box just cages you, and humans or anyone, humans and animals don't believe in cage. Should not live in cages.
This this
We
this is
are we are
this is an
humans. We
incredible
should live
advice.
free. We should breathe free.
This is incredible. Yeah, really valuable. I think I'm gonna remember that too for myself as well. So thank you so much. Did I
Anytime.
miss
Anytime.
anything for today? Anything both of you want to add? I know, we could. I think we can talk for like hours and hours. We should.
Oh yeah,
Sure, we
but
can.
I think it's
But
a
okay,
part two is needed. A part two is needed for this conversation to
yeah,
Yeah, I think a
happen.
part two would be needed.
sure,
I mean, I'll
sure. I want
Because
just
we haven't told the audience about our proposing day, like how he proposed me on a mountain. That's a story for a different day.
yeah, how I
to
proposed to her. I mean, lot
definitely.
of bold topics we can talk about.
Let's yeah. Let's do another episode.
Sure, we would love to.
Love to.
in,
Our pleasure.
in some time, right? We'll communicate on that, and I think that would be interesting. Um, for this episode, anything you both of you want to add? Anything I might have missed today? How's the weather out there?
I'll just super quickly say something about what she said. Like she said, don't be confined to boxes. Think outside the box. Go beyond the beyond. Don't have any boundaries in life. What is that?
Exactly.
What is that honestly going to get you every day? At the end of the day, ask yourself: are you really doing what you want to do? Are you happy where you are, or are you content and going with the flow?
See, you always hear one thing saying, "Sky the limit." To me, sky is not a limit. To me, sky is just a beginning. So there's no limits. It's infinite. There's no limit to anything. Limits to your dreams. Don't put limits to your dreams, your hopes, your desires. You want to jump off a plane and go skydiving? Go do it. You want to swim with the sharks and fishes? Go do it. Just do it. Don't think, just do it. That's it.
Just
And love animals.
do
Oh yeah, love
nothing, just
animals.
do it. Awesome, awesome.
Yeah, don't think, just do it. You
Awesome.
love someone, you want to go tell them you love them, do it. There is no weird feeling than saying I love you to someone that you love. And love animals, as always. Don't abuse them. Please don't abuse them. They deserve all the love and care in the whole universe. Animals are the greatest gift of nature, trust me.
Yes.
Humans are disgusting creatures because we make everything far worse than what it is.
Yeah,
I mean, thanks to us, there's a global warming. Thanks to us, we have wars.
yeah,
Animals are beautiful creatures. Love them.
yeah.
Yeah. Again, more for another day, as you said. Otherwise,
No.
we may never end.
No, this is
It's not a bad
podcast.
thing.
So this is
It's not a
fine.
bad thing.
All
No,
right,
it's not a bad
guys.
thing, but
Rahul and Krupa, thank you once again for speaking with me.
Thank you for
Okay,
having us.
thank you
thank
for
you
being
for
in the
having us.
podcast. I thoroughly enjoyed it. I I'm really grateful, and also what an amazing opportunity to meet Krupa digitally, right?
Same here.
And you guys look
It's a pleasure
amazing.
meeting you.
My best wishes are always going to be with you guys. And thank you, audience, for listening to this podcast. We'll catch up in another episode. Thank you.